Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Hoping everybody's having a great day. Hey, what have you been into, bud?
Oh, nothing much, man. Went to Florida for a couple of days. Went to Asheville and hung out with all the hippies and the liberals. That was a good enough time.
Oh, you didn't tell me about Asheville.
Yeah, I went to Asheville for a couple of days. My girlfriend wanted to take like a weekend trip. Her vacation got cut a little bit short due to a death in the family, but hey, it happens. And we went to Asheville, and it was a pretty good time. We went to this bakery down there.
You gotta love Asheville, North Carolina. If you guys, anybody watching this, if you want to set your destination, your next weekend getaway, maybe even weeks long vacation to Asheville, North Carolina, the western part of North Carolina, it's actually a beautiful city. It's just very, very, how should I say it, liberal.
I would say that if you like women that's got armpit hair, then Asheville, North Carolina is the place for you.
That's the place to be.
Yeah, it really is. Even the girl that's checking us in her hotel, she is like she had a extra head of hair down there.
Yeah, yeah. But a beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful, you know, unshaven community. I'll put it that way. I worked years ago in my previous life. I worked. I would go down and stay for a few weeks. Sometimes a whole month, and in Asheville. Then I'd come back home for a few weeks, and I'd go back down there. And you're not telling me nothing. Yeah, it's Asheville is very, very. Can I call them hippies?
Yeah, you can. I think hippies is still okay to call them.
Is that a flattering terminology to call? Is it nature people?
I think that they actually like being called hippies. Like I think hippies like being called hippies.
I know old people. You hear people say, "I'm just an old hippie." So I don't know how young people take that terminology, but
I think that most of the hippies that you would call hippies, they self-identify as hippies. You know.
So if you self-identify as a hippie, Asheville, North Carolina is your breeding ground, bud. Check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff around Asheville, Waynesville, Maggie Valley. It's a tourist location, very welcoming, very beautiful location, mountain location. So,
Great restaurants too. There's a lot of great restaurants in Asheville.
yeah, if you say so. Yeah, I don't have any doubt. We went to Biltmore a few years ago.
I've never been there before.
That's actually worth doing at the time. I think tickets were like $50 a piece, but it's actually worth doing if you like seeing how the other side of the people live back in the day. It's pretty amazing to see. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Isn't there like hundreds of rooms too?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that just goes to show you if you've got the income, if you build a nice enough mansion out in the woods for the rest of your life, you can make a killing by people like me that's poor. Well, every couple of years we'll give you $50 just to walk around through your house. I mean, it like the cycle never ends. And when we was there was hundreds of people giving out that $50 just to tour this mansion.
Hmm. I mean, I've heard that it's really pretty during Christmas too.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
I don't. I usually don't travel that way when it gets close to December because it snows up in them mountains.
Oh yeah, I've been driving through Asheville when it's been pouring the snow like that before. It was pretty.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about today, Caden?
Today we are going to be talking about guns that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. You know, guns. I love guns, Chris, but I don't have a lot of money. That's part of doing the freelance work is I don't have a steady income.
Yeah, yeah. Are we going to start using words like cheap pieces of crap?
Well,
cheap guns?
A lot of these are cheap. Some of them are pieces of crap, but either way, if you don't have a lot of money in your pocket, you still get a hold of them, and I'm sure they'll bust off a few rounds.
You know what is worse than the cheapest gun I've ever owned?
What's that?
Been in a situation where I didn't have a gun at all.
That's true.
And just to touch base, that's not been many situations, and it's not that I carry. It's just that the self-comfort of even if I'm a person that don't make that much money, at least I have some type of means of defense against whatever. And I'm not saying just against people. I grew up in the woods and the mountains here in Southwest Virginia. I grew up ginsenging, looking for mushrooms, being out in the woods. So I knew when I ginsenged and I mushroomed, I always took some form of pistol
Bear
with me.
repellent.
Yeah, copperhead killer is what I want to say. So even in that environment and being out in nature, you want something to make sure that copperhead is going to get got before he gets you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and so you don't have to spend a lot of money on these guns. I'm gonna go over a few of them here. Me and Chris are gonna talk about what we think about them. But I'm a college student, and again, I do freelance work. I work on computers, and so I don't go to work 40 hours a week. So there's some weeks that I make a lot of money, and there's some weeks where I don't make any money. And
the
I don't.
struggles of being a poor college kid.
That's true, and I don't have a lot of money in my pocket all the time. So these guns right here, a lot of them would fit the category of something that I would throw in the car, either as a fun gun, like this one right here that we're going to get into, or something that I would conceivably carry in the woods in case of black bear, like this right here.
Or when you're traveling through South Carolina and you need a little something something in your back pocket because some shady people in a white van pull up and eyeball you for a minute.
Yep, yeah, I've been there a week ago, and so. Chris, what guns do we have here in front of us? Let's start over here at the handguns with you.
Oh, we've got the good old first gen Springfield XD 9 millimeter. This is a 9 millimeter gun. It's like I said, it's a I can't read it. I don't have the correct glasses on for reading that, but I do know what it is. It's a first gen Springfield XD and 9 millimeter.
And so these guns, brand new, they're going to be more than $300, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But you can find these used reasonably priced at sometimes around $200, maybe $250.
I'm pretty sure I bought this off a customer. I've got this for sale in my showroom right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm into this for like 175. He
Mm-hmm.
was glad that's what he asked me for it, and I gave it to him. And I've had it, priced for just a little bit more than that for a couple months, and it's not moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cheap gun, but I've shot this gun. You know, I've not found a fault in it so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of so years ago, striker fired pistols. Of course, years ago, but I'm talking about 20 years ago. Striker fire pistols were kind of the new thing on the block. They were a lot of them were expensive, like a Glock. I would call a Glock expensive because they run you about $600
Yeah,
new walking out of somewhere. But striker fire handguns are going way down in price. A lot of them are more affordable nowadays and work perfectly fine, just like that Springfield XT9. That would be a fantastic option, even though it's more of a full size pistol that somebody could use and leave it on the refrigerator or whenever you're answering the door at 2 in the morning.
yeah. Throw it in the glove box of your favorite, your wife's SUV, your pickup truck. If you're going to hit the trail or hit the woods, it'll keep off the snakes and the mosquitoes. And would I also carry this gun if I was going somewhere? You're darn right I would. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these older Springfield XDs. They're reliable if you leave it alone and try not to upgrade it. This gun in this formation and stock formation, this gun's gonna fire.
Hmm. And those striker fired handguns like that right there. If you buy them used, somebody's already broke them in for you. Most manuals they recommend a break-in period of something like three to
Yeah,
500 rounds. They've already shot that for you, and so you're getting a smooth handling gun for not a lot of money.
yeah, and it'd be a great carry piece, good, great truck gun, whatever everybody's definition of truck gun is. This would be that.
Uh,
So
let's go over that. What's your definition of truck gun? When you hear truck gun, what are you thinking?
the cheapest piece of crap that I can get my hands on and put away, and hopefully never need it.
Hmm. That's
Piece
what
of
it means
crap.
to me too. A lot of people see truck gun and they think it's like one of those ultra tactical $2,500 9 millimeter
Nope.
PDW something or another. I don't see it like that. I see a truck gun as a gun that you really don't have to care all that much about.
Yeah, if you open your glove box on your truck and you throw in your crescent wrench, you don't have to move baby out of the way to keep baby from getting scratched up because
Hmm.
heck, baby's already been beaten and battered. One more scratch ain't gonna hurt baby. You know what I mean? I
Oh yeah.
mean, this ain't something you're gonna get out to your buddies and let them ooh and ah it. This is something when it hits the trail, you've got baby in a corner and baby's always ready to party. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, it's not a beauty queen. It's just she's there for fun.
So if you want to maybe not get a striker fired handgun, Chris, what else you got right there?
Okay, I bought this off of my next door neighbor last week before I went to Atlanta and Caden. I took this baby to Atlanta with me. This is the Taurus. This is I think is it a 685?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the 685.
I have my glasses on.
Sorry about that, folks.
Any,
680.
856. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, that's what I meant to
The
say.
Taurus 856.
The 856 chambered in 38 special only. It's the hammerless, so it's. I bought this off my neighbor. I'm into this for cheap. I think I gave him 2 bills for this. It's a good gun. It's a great carry piece. This is something, and I've shot it. It shoots fine, but this is a great for me. This is a great travel gun. It's not a Glock, but every time you pull this trigger, as long as you've got some decent ammo on there, it means business.
Mhm.
It's a good inexpensive alternative to, hey, throw your gun in your pocket, out of your pocket, under your car seat, in your glove box. That's what this is used for me.
Now, if there's any female viewers watching this might be the gun for you because, at least with my girlfriend, and I've heard this from other people as well, I like to shoot with my girlfriend sometimes, and whenever she shoots one of my handguns, sometimes she has trouble pulling back the slide on it. You have to be kind of rough with some of them, right?
Yeah,
This one right here, you don't really have to worry about that. There's a button to release the cylinder, and once you put those 6 rounds or 5, if you want to be really safe and keep one off of the hammer,
that's how I carried it. 5 rounds.
that's how I'll carry a snub nose as well. But there's really no strength action to these besides the double action trigger pull. But that's really the safety feature of the gun. So
Yeah,
if you pull that trigger for long enough and hard enough, it's going to go bang.
yeah, exactly.
It's pretty simple to use. So maybe if you're not a gun person, but you think, hey, I might need a gun to defend myself one of these days, that might be the one for you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just big enough. I mean, you're not going to do no long range hunting with this, but this is a close contact. Get off me. I mean, business is, and that's what this tool is. This is a get off me gun, and I don't care what it looks like or even how small it is. If you in that situation pull this out and start squeezing that trigger, they're going to get off you. That's a promise out of my mouth to your ears. This is going to get them off of you, and they're gonna reconsider their life choices.
Yeah, that's a little 38 right there. Even if you had 38 special, not plus P ammo, not hollow point, something like that, nobody's ever said they've gotten shot and they said, "Well, you shot me with 38 ball ammo. I'm going to keep coming after you."
Yeah,
Nobody's going to look down and say, "Oh, you only shot me with the 22. You should have shot me with something bigger."
yeah. That's the Hollywood reaction,
Yeah.
but in real life, yeah, that's going to change your mind. I mean, that'll wake them up.
What's your third one on the table there, Chris?
This is the Sky 9 millimeter. This happens to be a CPX-1.
Hmm. Now, these
And
guns.
by the way, before you cut this gun too much, this belongs to the guy that's loaned me a couple guns we done video on. So
Okay, I'll keep it a little bit more civil.
try to be civil.
I don't care all that much for these guns, but they do fit into the inexpensive category. The brand new price on these, if you were to walk out with one, I think you're looking at like $250 maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe a
somewhere in
little
that
bit
neighborhood.
less on a sale.
Mhm.
There's been some reported problems online, but it probably works more often than it doesn't. I can tell you the trigger pull is not that great on it. I was sitting here playing with it a few minutes ago. The trigger pull is miserable. But this, again, like Chris was talking, this is more of a get off me gun. You're not going to take this and try to shoot somebody at 50 yards with it, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. And when I see guns, in all fairness, when I see a gun in this frame, I think of something, someone to buy for the ladies. I think of, a lady's firearm. This is something they could put in their purse or in their car. Most women have smaller hands, you know, for a female that, she's going to get out. Her husband's going to train her up with his Glock, and then he's going to take her and she's going to pick out something like this, and more likely she is never going to shoot this. She might shoot it a time or two, but she's not going to be out on a occasional basis and practicing, which you need to, even to use some of this stuff in defensive tactics. Train, get out and shoot cans. It don't matter what you shoot. Get that muscle memory down. But that husband is going to buy this for that wife, knowing good and damn well this is just going to be in her pocketbook, and she's probably never going to shoot this because he trained her up on her Glock 19, and she's good to go from now on.
That's what you call a peace of mind gun. You leave it in the pocketbook or you leave it in the glove box, and it's there in case you really need it.
Yeah,
They make those in pink frames and teal blue frames as well, so you don't have to get the tactical olive green or flat dark earth.
Do you see this taking the place of a Glock?
Not for me, but if I had trouble, if I had small hands and I was not as strong as I am right now, then if I couldn't pull the slide back on a Glock, then maybe.
Yeah, well, I kinda look at it like if my wife wanted to carry a piece, well, first of all, I would probably try my best to talk her into getting a Glock, but if she said, "Nah, I want something pretty," I would buy her something like this because the money I would spend on this, I would have another $275 in my pocket that I could spend on, maybe a late Father's Day present for me.
Yeah.
So, I'd get me something pretty, something nice, a little bling bling or something. Some more swag. But, when I see something like this, is it for me? No, of course not. Would I buy this for my wife? Yeah, because it's a cheap gun, and I know she's never going to shoot it. Hopefully, she never is never in a situation where she needs it, but it'll be there if she does.
hmm Now, so far we've talked a lot about self-defense situations, guns that you're going to carry a lot. I want to talk about one. This is my gun. The next one coming up here. This is a Ruger Wrangler. Not all the guns that you buy have got to serve a purpose. Ask me why I have this gun right here, Chris.
Why do you have that gun, Caden?
Because I like it.
It's
I
it's
wanted this
awesome.
gun because it's fun to shoot. It's 22. I can go out all afternoon and I can shoot rounds through this thing, and it doesn't cost me a lot of money. It looks cool. I got this cool eBay holster for it. I bought this gun just because I like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think I spent $200 on this gun. This was back before they came out with the Ruger Super Wrangler. This is just the Ruger Wrangler. It only fits the 22 LR cylinder. Of course, you can shoot 22 long, 22 shorts, but you can get one of these for about $250 that you can shoot the 22 Magnum. They come with an extra cylinder to put in there for a little bit more power. But this gun is a ton of fun. I love shooting it. Every time I go to the range, I'll bring it out with me just because I know if I've shot through a few boxes of 45 and 10 millimeter and 7.62 by 39, I can pull this out, and that's pretty much cut down on my ammo consumption for the day.
My second AR-15 that I ever owned, I've still got it, and my oldest son bought it for me for Christmas several years ago. It was a Smith & Wesson M&P 15-22. I've got I love my 22 long rifle in my AR-15 because I can shoot it, and it costs more now than what it did back then, but I can still shoot that 22 a lot cheaper than I can my 5.56.
hmm
So I love my 22 long rifles.
Now, as far as handguns go, that's about everything in the 200, maybe $250 range. I'm going to throw in an honorable mention here. If you want, if you like the idea of getting a 1911, if you want a 1911, here in front of me, this is mine as well. This is let me show it's clear. This is a TSUS 1911. They're made overseas. I think they're made in Turkey. Could be wrong about that.
I think so.
But they're imported in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is about an hour and a half from here.
Go Vols.
Yeah, go Vols. This is a TSUS M1911A1. It shoots really well. It feels great in the hand. You can have these things online on sale. They'll go for about $330, maybe $350. But if you want a 1911, kind of a government model one, not the super cool tactical ones with the rail and a huge hammer on it and all that stuff, you can have one of these for about $350 or less.
That's pretty crazy. I know your friend. He ordered one, and I FFL transferred it for him. And I don't know a ton about those firearms, but it kind of blows my mind. You could be into a pretty good feeling 1911. I mean, he let me fire it that day. It shot good, felt great.
It feels great in the hand.
For not that much money, you could have a full size, 1911 and 45 ACP. I didn't mind it.
Now, I'm going to just throw in something else here. This is a TSUS 1911 that I just showed on camera. I have a Rock Island Armory 1911 as well, and they usually go Rock Island. They make a GI model as well that's somewhere around the price point of this one right here. If you were stuck between a TSUS and a Rock Island Armory, I would go TSUS all the way. I own a Rock Island Armory 1911. I can't really quantify it, but it's something that I can feel in my hands that the Rock Island is just not made as well. Either it's not as heavy. I don't know what it is about it. I've had a little bit more. It's chambered in a different caliber as well. It's a 10 millimeter. But I've just had more success out of this one right here. I've had less failures to feed or failures to extract. Um,
You even did you get a bad magazine with your Rock Island? Is that the one
Yep.
you're talking about?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, I got a bad magazine with it too. It won't let me load more than 8 rounds in. I've tried to fix it. I went through a warranty request and they sent me another one.
I don't know what they're doing over in Turkey, but I've FFL transferred several shotguns that's come out of Turkey. I've actually bought a shotgun, and a guy bought it. I sold a guy a shotgun, I should say, a Turkish made shotgun, and it felt legit. It didn't feel junk, and it wasn't that expensive. And I talked to him just a few weeks ago and asked him if he still liked it, and he still loves that shotgun. It suits him well.
Mhm. So there's a lot of great guns that you can get for not a lot of money nowadays. The next one on the list here, I'm going to show you this. This is my gun as well. This is a Mossberg Maverick 88, and there is everybody in the world, if you know anything about guns, you've heard of a Mossberg 500. It's kind of the go-to shotgun. This one is made really similarly to it. On a Mossberg 500, they call it a tang safety right up here that you can flip. It's different on this. It's down here in front of the trigger guard that you got to flip. Also, this gun right here has got a fixed fore end. You can't just take this little handguard off. You have to take these little rail bits here too. But this gun, Chris, I think I paid $185 for it because it has got some kind of blemish on the receiver here.
Is that new
I can't
price?
really tell. Yeah, it was brand new. Brand new. It was a blemish model. Even brand new, you can get these things for about 200. I have seen online, so they make these in a couple of configurations, the Maverick 88. They make one that's called a security plus field combination. I think it's $250, but it comes with 2 barrels. It comes with a 18.5-inch, if I remember correctly, home defense barrel, and then it comes with like a 26 or a 28-inch hunting barrel as well.
Rabbit getter.
And that's a really good deal for $250. You basically get 2 shotguns in one, and it's well made. This is the security edition with an 18.5-inch barrel, and it also has a 7-round magazine tube. And so this gun holds 7+1 for $250. You can't show me another shotgun that holds 7+1 for that kind of money. And so these things are made really well. They're not actually made in Mexico. They're made on the border of Mexico in a place called Maverick, Texas. I think that's the namesake of the gun.
I think, wasn't that part of the deal for them to locate their plant there? Didn't they have to change the name of that? Am I thinking of something else? Didn't they have to name that town or that city Maverick, Texas, because they set up shop there? I think so.
I know that. So I was researching online because I had heard that these were made in Mexico, and even then there was nothing wrong with that. But I had heard that these things were made in Mexico. I looked it up. They're made in Maverick, Texas. Yeah. And so I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if that is the namesake of this gun or if they actually had to change the name.
I swear. I mean, I could be thinking of something totally different, but hey, small towns in Texas probably had 2 people there and probably needed, 300 employees. So what are you going to do? So I don't know. I mean, that sounds good to me. We'll go with that. Get the gun that renamed the city.
But there's been torture tests of these things done online, and they are built really well. If you want a shotgun for about $200, this is probably the way to go.
Yeah, if you get something comparable, which if you go out and you buy the Mossberg 500 in the same configuration, I priced one a few weeks ago for a guy. You're going to be knocking on 550's door so loud you're going to wake him up.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be doubling that price if you go, say, with a Mossberg 500. And the last I looked, if you go with the tactical Remington 870 in a home defense type, you're going to be a little bit better than that, I'm pretty sure.
And even then, I think those guns hold 5+1 or 6+1.
Yeah.
Remingtons got an extra shot.
Yeah, the Remingtons don't hold nearly as much, but
Mm-hmm. So I think that would be a fantastic home defense option. Leave it in the bedroom corner, and if you hear a bump in the night, I'd take that down with me, no problem.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this topic that we're going on. You could be into a whole lot of gun for budget minded people, because we know how inflation's on the rise. The world's gone to crap. Well, here in the U.S., it's kind of going to crap in the handbasket, but you can still pick up some good, a decent truck gun or something to defend yourself, or something to get the kids out shooting on a weekend to have some family fun. Train your wife up on how to shoot, buy her a Sky.
Mm-hmm. And so, I think that's important for everybody to hear. If you go online, you look on an internet forum, everybody's showing off their $3,000 1911s and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, go get a Wilson Combat.
Yeah, but I bet yours. I bet this thesis right here puts the same size hole as one of those does in somebody or something.
Yeah, it don't matter what it costs. I don't want to be shot with it.
Yeah, and so that's just kind of the whole point of the video.
Yeah. There's some budget friendly guns. You could buy some of these. Like Caden said, you could buy some of these first gen, second gen striker fire guns. I happen to like striker fire guns. I mean, I don't have a problem. It's not comparable to shooting a 1911. You're going to definitely have a different trigger pull, but there's nothing wrong with these older striker fire guns. They make parts. They made gazillions of parts, the replacement parts, if that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you got anything else?
I think that's all I've got, man.
I think I'm all square.
All right. Like always, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. Is there any more buttons on YouTube they can hit?
You said subscribe, like, and bell, right?
Yeah. All those buttons. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. Do all those. Please subscribe. It keeps the channel going and encourages us to keep putting out halfway decent content. I'm getting tongue tied in my button pushing talk. But anyway, like always, thanks for watching.